For the final time this season, Newcastle United must win. Our away form's been shocking, so honestly this game could go anywhere. If Newcastle managed to bottle Europa League or European Conference League, then what a disappointing season it's been. So guys, today back for a video on the channel. Today we're here for the Brentford vs Newcastle preview. Yes, it is the final preview of the season. And to make it even better, boys, when this video is going live, it is my birthday. 22 years old I am. I'm older than some Newcastle players in that squad, which is absolutely mad. Obviously I've gone this a day before, so I'm assuming I'm going to be getting loads of messages and off people. I really do appreciate the support. I'll get back to everyone that I can. But it's not about me today, it's not about my birthday. No, it's not. It is about Newcastle United, and we've got to get Europe. Obviously yesterday against Manchester United, we all know the result, we all know everything what happened. Brentford not playing for anything, they're staying up in the Premier League. It's going to be a funny old game, but in the video we'll look at Brentford, look at Newcastle, and let's get in the video now. And we'll start off by looking at Brentford. So then for the final time, looking at an opposition team this season, Brentford. They've had a funny old season. Obviously I think the most talking point of their season was the Ivan Toney situation, obviously being suspended with the gambling issues, and then obviously Tonali got banned. I think for their standards of since coming into the Premier League, they have done quite well, but this season 16th in the league, 39 points. They're a massive gap away from the relegation zone, but the recent results is probably why they're in around there. They've beat the teams around them in the table, and that's probably why they are doing so good. And honestly, only losing once in the last 8 is quite scary. A 1-1 draw against Manchester United, a 0-0 draw against Brighton, a 3-3 draw against Aston Villa, beating Sheffield United 2-0, beating Luton 5-1, getting beaten Everton 1-0, draw to Fulham 0-0, and then beating Bournemouth 2-1 with some late goals. As I briefly mentioned the table there, Brentford are sitting 16th in the league, 39 points. If they want to go and have a higher position, obviously the higher you finish, the bit more money you get. But I think for Brentford's sake, I think they do just need to focus and try and stay in the Premier League. Obviously they're not that big of a club to be in the Premier League. Obviously there were teams in the Championship and League One that have been in the Premier League and had a bit more established them to themselves to be in the Premier League, where I think Brentford have not struggled, but they're not a big side, are they, to be honest. But 16th in the league, they can still finish 15th as the highest they can finish. I think their recent form is why they've done quite well, because if you look at the form beforehand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, 1 win. That is scary, and that's relegation form. They've done quite well, and they've got a good side. They obviously do have injuries in their squad as well. If we have a look at their starting lineup, they've got a couple of players out. Hickey's out, Ben May's out, De Silva's out, and Henry. I think Henry got injured against us and he was out for the season. But they have struggled in times, and Ivan Toney's not really lived up to the expectation where you could say, wow, he was brilliant. Or he scored some goals this season, don't get me wrong. 4 goals in 16 games, but people are saying he should be going to the Euros. People are saying he should be the second to Harry Kane. Him and Watkins are on the same level. Not for me, not a chance. But looking at their side, they've got a good team. I think they should be higher in the league. I think they've got a good side than other teams. But we'll have a look at their team now. Flecken's in goal. He's a really good goalkeeper. Originally Freiburg, I think, in the Bundesliga, done really well. Ajay, a Newcastle target, we were after him. Obviously he went to Brentford when he was at Celtic. Collins, Pinnock and Reguilon's a really good player. He was at loan at Manchester United, didn't work out, went to Brentford and really found his form, and I think Brentford have got to do what's right and try and sign him, because he is a very good player. Janlet, Norgård, Damsgaard, good midfielder. Damsgaard obviously that one who scored that free kick against England back in the Euros. Norgård's been through thick and thin with Brentford, and I think Janlet is just won Brentford Player of the Year or some daft like that. Lewis Potter, Ivan Toney and Brian Mbeumo, a player that Newcastle could do with, a right winger who's going to give you goals, assists and give you a lot going forward. I think he's a player that Newcastle could potentially go for in the summer if some transfers don't go our way. But like I say, Brentford have got now to play for. They're playing for 15th, and they could get it with Everton playing against Arsenal, so obviously it's a tough one to ask. But I think for their standards and when they've came up the Premier League, it's not been a disappointing season. They've just got to rebuild a little bit. I think that form in the middle of the season's where it's really struck them, and if they didn't continue that form, they could be needing a win against Newcastle to survive. It really could have went that way, but it hasn't. They're in good form, like I say. It will be a tough game, but Newcastle United have actually got something to play for. So then Newcastle, honestly, anytime anything's in our hand, even just since the takeover, we've bottled it and struggled. Look at the Carabao Cup final, and then you've got Champions League. All we had to do was not lose to AC Milan, and we would have went to the Europa League round 16. Obviously, the Carabao Cup this year, we bottled it on penalties against Chelsea, bottled it in the 92nd minute, and we've bottled against Man United, and now it goes to the last game. With Chelsea being in good form, Chelsea look really good this season, and as of late, I should say, at the start of the year, they were really bad, but now they're picking up points, picking up goals, and they are doing very well. I can't see Chelsea losing to Bournemouth, so it's either Newcastle get Conference League or we bottle it. Manchester United have got Brighton away. I think I can say Man United picking up 3 points. Brighton have been in horrendous form, got nothing to play for whatsoever. Man United can still get 7th and get Europa League Conference, which I think is ridiculous with the size of Man United, but Newcastle United is. I think conference will be good for Newcastle. I think it'll be good to get some wins in Europe and have another go at it. You know what I mean? Obviously the Champions League was a little bit too much for. Obviously, yes, we did beat PSG, but it was a little bit too far. Like the teams like when we played Milan at home and Dortmund home and away, that's where we struggled. I think conference could be a good way for Newcastle going forward. Look at Villa. They got the semi-final and now playing Champions League football. That's the way it should have went. We're going, I wouldn't say backwards. We were quite lucky to get Champions League last season with how bad some other teams were. This is a realistic state of where the squad is, because yes, we've got some world-class players in Anthony Gordon and Alexander Isak, but we've still got players who are playing week in, week out who should not be in the starting 11. Your Dubravkas, your Emil Kraft, your Sean Longstaffs, your Jacob Murphys, your Almirons. Them names there all made their debuts before 2020. We're going into 2025 next year, and these players are still employed at the club and still got contracts at the club. That's the scary thought about the squad at the minute, and I don't think we should be even anywhere near top 5. The fact that we're only 6 points off Spurs, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. By the way, the fact that we've got 6 points behind Spurs with not beating Luton Town home and away, without beating Everton home and away, without beating Bournemouth home and away, not beating Nottingham Forest at home, they're the games that are going to cost you. And normally against the bigger teams we do play okay, but against the smaller teams we tend to struggle sometimes, and it could be one of them days for Newcastle. And honestly, do them players, are they ready to go on a plane and go to Mallorca or wherever the fuck they want to go on holiday? Dubai probably, I don't know. But obviously they've got Australia to fucking go to, actually, I forgot about that. But I think Newcastle have just got to think, look, 90 minutes, put your all in for the fans, and we'll have to wait and see if Newcastle United can get European football. And obviously I think we've still got to wait. I actually don't know the crack because it's all over the shop. I don't know if Newcastle, after, if we get 7s, do we need Man City to win the FA Cup so Man United don't get European football, and that means Chelsea get Conference because it goes to 6. I really don't know what happens with that situation. I'm just hoping City win the FA Cup and Newcastle win on Sunday. Obviously every game obviously got the title. Obviously this game's not really too much of an impact. Obviously it's just really an impact to Newcastle because we're not going to catch Chelsea, and Man United are going to do what they do on their day. So we've just got to focus on what we get, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Predictor team time, let's have it. So obviously I like doing the Man United video, done quite good, doing a big video, speed about it all, put a bit more effort in the video. Let's do the predicted team for the game versus Brentford. Starting out with a defence, as you can see. Let's go. Dubravka in goal. I think he's been so disappointing. He has been all season. He's so unconfident, it's ridiculous, it's really bad, and he's lost his legs massively compared to when he wasn't goal for Newcastle in 2018, 2019. He was really good for Newcastle, but as of late, shocking, he needs to be one of them to get out the door in the summer. Should be Pope, but I don't think it will be. Defence, Kieran Trippier in still. We know obviously Tino Livramento will be out for the season. And then obviously Trippier will start, even though he was quite shit against Manchester United. Two centre-halves, we have got Fabian Schär and Darren Burn. I can see Shaw coming in. He came on against Manchester United, put Emil Kraft at right back. And then Trippier came off, but Fabian Shaw needs to start with Emil Kraft, because Kraft's not a centre-half. It's as simple as that. Then Lewis Hall was probably my man of the match for Man United away. Played really well and deserved another start. Midfield now, I've brought Joe Linton in, and we all know Eddie Howe doesn't like to risk players and risk injuries and risk the players who are playing with something, apart from Sean Longstaff, who's taking injections week in week out to play for this football club, where he should be getting treatment, but hey ho. I think it's harsh. I've dropped Anderson. I don't think he deserves to get dropped. I think Longstaff should be getting dropped, but I can see it being Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Linton, but I think we need Big Joe on the side to have a chance of controlling that Brentford midfield, because if they play their free midfield going to Newcastle, it will be a tough ask, to be fair, because Brentford are a good side and good form. And then in the attack, I'm sick of this right wing situation, to be honest. I'm sick of Murphy, I'm sick of Almiron. Murphy, right, is got an unbelievable cross on him and can put an amazing ball in the box, but off the ball, for me, he is absolutely, it's not good enough, in my opinion. The amount of times where you see him bottle a challenge and it's like, get fucking stuck in. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he's playing for Newcastle United, and then Almiron, on the other hand, doesn't score goals, doesn't run at defenders, and he's losing his legs. So right wing's number one priority in the summer. It's signed, sealed, delivered. That's the number one priority. But Anthony Gordon on the left, and then Isak up top. Looks like Callum Wilson will be leaving the club after having a fallout and shit like that. If that is true, what I've seen on Twitter today, he should be fucking embarrassed. You know what I mean? But that's the predicted team, boys. Do you agree? And there we go, boys, for the final time this season. Obviously, it is the birthday when this is going up, so when this is getting put up, I'll be in Newcastle before loss, watching the fight on Saturday, and then ready for the game on Sunday. And then, I'm not going to say where I'm going, but I'm going on holiday on the Monday, so literally the season ends on the Sunday, and I'll go abroad on the Monday. I might vlog it for the channel, you'll have to wait and see, but make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel. I'll say it's all for Sunday, last game of the season. Howie the lads. Newcastle, Newcastle.